As you said, Debbie's moving on up to Georgia as well as South Carolina. So when exactly can those residents be expecting to see that impact?
So we expect the impact to be a long-lasting impact, really from late Monday night into Tuesday, Wednesday, and in some places continuing Thursday as well, as Debby just slowly moves up the coast. It may go back offshore for a time and then make a second landfall. We would not expect that landfall to have a significant amount of wind with it, but there could be some strong winds very close to that point of landfall. Again, though, the fact that it's going to take 3 or 4 days from it to go from the Florida Panhandle to North Carolina is very concerning, and that's the reason that the flooding rainfall is going to be the most or the largest impact from Debby.
Can you talk a little bit why the slow moving storm is concerning you more?
Yeah, absolutely, Brittany. Start that again. Absolutely, Brittany. We are concerned that the slow movement of storms, there's a long history, unfortunately, of tropical systems that are slow moving, causing significant, in some cases, catastrophic flooding. Residents of the Carolinas are unfortunately familiar with Florence in 2018, which set the record for amount of rainfall from a tropical system, both in South Carolina and North Carolina. Debby may get close to those totals, which were on the order of 2 feet of rain or even more in some places. So anytime you have slow movement with a lot of moisture, which is what you have in a tropical system, there's significant concern for flooding, and we may have to also watch farther north into the mid-Atlantic and maybe the Northeast come this weekend for heavy rain from what is Debby as it moves in that direction later on this week.
What's your advice for people who are perhaps in Georgia, perhaps in South Carolina on vacation, don't live there year round, but they're facing the impact of Tropical Storm Debby in the upcoming days?
Absolutely. So the impact to Debby in the next couple of days will obviously be a significant one to those who are either vacationing or living in the Carolinas. If you, really no matter who you are, please pay attention to local officials, heed all evacuation orders. If you are living in a location or if you're visiting there, know your different evacuation routes, how much where you are in terms of flooding and what type of flooding would be an impact to you. There's obviously a difference between storm surge flooding if you're near the coast, where there can be a couple of feet of storm surge where that ocean rises up because of the significant push of water inland that's associated with tropical storms. But then there's the combination of that with what is called freshwater flooding, where it's raining very heavily for a long period of time. And in places like Charleston and Savannah, it doesn't take a lot of rain there to cause flooding without a tropical system. They've seen significant flooding in recent years due to those situations. And because they're close to the water, sometimes it's hard for the water to discharge out into the ocean because of the fact that the water in the ocean is already higher due to that storm surge. That's another reason, sort of that combination between ocean flooding and freshwater flooding. That's another reason why we're concerned or so concerned about the flooding risk in the Carolinas.